Hello, it's me again, and we're going to continue our journey through these really entertaining Witeden puzzles. This is the 3x3x7, but it's not like the Cube for You 3x3x7, which I also really enjoy. It's cubic instead of cuboid, but I'll forgive them for that. But you also have these extended areas here in the edges over here. So we're going to walk through in terms of how to do that. Basically, we want to get it back to the 3x3x7 and solve it quite easily like that, but just sort of walk through how to get these guys in place. Now, what's interesting about this puzzle is scrambling it is almost as difficult as solving it. And I actually have to use algorithms for the purposes of scrambling it also, which is kind of interesting. Because if you don't, just like we encountered with this guy, you may find yourself with kind of a partial scramble, and it might not work so good. So I'm just going to start off kind of scrambling the bottom part here and top part here. Basically what this is going to do is mix these guys up and mix all the levels up. So turn it here, maybe do a couple turns like so, and just scramble it like that. So I'm actually demonstrating it as opposed to magically having it scrambled, just because there's a little bit of complexity here, and you want to make sure that you're dealing with a puzzle that's worth solving and challenging. Okay, so I'm just going to scramble the top here a little bit more. Alright, once we've done that, now I want to start working on these guys, scrambling these guys over here. Well, the only way I'm going to be able to do that reliably is if I put these up in this plane over here, because these become edges that I can use here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick two to move it up here, say these orange ones. So I'm just going to pick this one over here, and we'll put this one over here. Once I've done that, I'm just going to get any corners here, like so. It really doesn't matter at this point. Whoops. And then just continue the scramble with these over here, like this. Now, what I may want to do if I want to get a good scramble with that and put it on different layers is put that down over, make it so that I can put it down over here too. So in addition to that, I'm going to try to put these up over here, the pink ones. So what I'm going to do is start to move some of these. I'm going to substitute one for the other. This I'm going to keep here because this is still unscrambled. This is already up here, so I'm going to maybe substitute this one here. I'm actually using algorithms for the purposes of scrambling this. Can you believe that? So this is up here, this is up here. So now I just need to put some other edges here. I've got this here and this here. So this is like doing the line, and I'm going to flip these up. F-R-U, R-I-U-I. Fi. So I've got this here. So you see what I'm doing? What I'm doing is I'm trying to get all edges up here that I can scramble and edges over here that I can scramble. In this case, the pink ones up here. So now, in order to continue that, I'm going to need to put corners up here and flip these up. So with the magic of algorithms, I'm actually going to do the last step of a solve in order to put these up. And as long as I've got two out, I can do that. And it doesn't matter the color scheme at this point. My whole goal is to have two sides that have solid colors. Now that I've done that, I can continue to scramble these, and I can actually flip them up here like this, and I can just have a grand old time scrambling them. So now I'm going to continue that process, but basically, in sum up, what I did to get a good scramble is I had to move these up here, two of these up here, and two of these down here, and make sure that I put corners in so that I can get it pretty well. So I'm going to continue that. And once I've done that, I can finally just do a normal 3x3 scramble everywhere. That way I'm dealing with something that's a little bit more of a challenge, and we'll continue as such. What I'm actually looking for is to make sure I don't really have any of these internal structures in. If I do just by accident, well, that's just by random chance. Okay, so this is a pretty good fully scrambled 3x3x7 with a little twist, not like the Cube for You version. So overall strategies are like any other cuboid. Instead of being shape-shifted, we have layers that are kind of blocked. Instead of having layers that are extended out, we have them in deep where we can't move them. But the strategies are pretty much the same. You can see the previous cubic tutorials that really talk about some of those concepts. Okay, so the first step that we're going to do is we're going to define our tops and our bottoms, yellow and white. These are actually going to be our reference points. And what I want to start doing is I want to start creating our edges where they're supposed to be. So what I can do is I can say, well, let's put our pink ones in first. And what that's going to entail is putting that up here, getting corners in, and just solving it like that. So where's a pink corner? Here's a pink corner in, so I'm just going to keep that in here. And then I'm going to just start putting in the rest of the corners. Now at this point, it really doesn't matter color scheme. I'm just going to keep it as yellows up here for no particular reason, but you really don't need to. So we've got these here, and now I'm just going to put other colors around here. And again, it really doesn't matter, but just for the sake of continuity, make things less confusing, I'll keep it yellow. There's a white one here. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Alright, so what I want to do is this is the blue one, blue and pink. Let's find other blues. Here's a blue here. Is there a middle blue I can use? Just by random chance, there probably is. So you see how easy that is? That's put in here. Now let's find the other pink one. It's right over here. Then we can easily put the corner in. So now this is the green one. So let's just find greens. Bang, there it is. Now that we've done both pinks, how about greens? Let's find our green edge here. Well, how about yellow instead? So replace that with yellow. Put in some corners, just for good measure. And if you don't find it here, you can just move another one up that has what you need. So here's green. Now I'm just doing one at a time because I just find it easier. If you have mad skills, you can do it more than that. So here's yellow. Another yellow. There's this one over here. Just a quick replacement like that. Okay, blue. Find another blue here, right over here. Okay, so all of our oranges are in. I think I called it yellow, but all of our oranges are in. So now, what else? Okay, so basically that's really it. We've just put in these edges here, so we're done with that part. Now it's just a matter of solving it like any other 3x3x7. So I'm just going to go through that because it's fun. So here we go. We'll start off with a cross. So this I want to move to where the pink is. There it is. Now, you're probably thinking, why don't I just continue to do that and just reduce it? Continue to put all of these in. And I could, you could try to do that, but it might get kind of cumbersome. You might start bumping into other pieces. But, you know, if you do that and you're successful, let me know. Maybe I'll start doing it that way. And like so. And this blue one, come right like that. Okay, now we'll find our corners. This corner's already in. Here's the pink and blue, which is right here. Pink and blue. Blue and orange, right over here. And this one's over here. Okay, so we have our cross and we have our first quote layer in. Now we work on the middle layers. So I remind you what we want to do is we want to move our white ones up here. And what that's going to entail is putting these edges here. So here's the pink and green, which will go here. Just solve it like a regular Rubik's Cube at this point. So that's in. Here's the orange and green right here. So that's in. Now this is actually simpler than the other Witedens that I've seen because it's pretty straightforward. A lot more Rubik's Cubey, so to speak. And pink and blue, which will go right here. So basically I just have the classic 3x3x7 and I'll do the classic 3x3x7 solve. So here I need to put these edges in. I've got the L formation, F R-U-R-I-U-I-F-I. Here's the line, F-R-U-R-I-U-I-F-I. This is where it needs to be. This is not. Still not yet. That's where it needs to be, that's where it needs to be, that's where it needs to be. And now we just do our corners the same way. This isn't where it needs to be, this is. And now they're all where they need to be. We just have to float them in. Turn it here. Turn this here. And turn this here. You're discovering why I am not a speed cuber. There'd be cubes flying all over the place if I tried that. Okay. So here we have it. So we have our Rubik's Cube solve. And you can probably solve your other 3x3x7s much the same way. I'm just applying the same cuboid strategies that we talked about. What's different about this, which is a lot easier, is every one of these layers has a homologous layer. There's no roadblocks like we saw in this case. So it's pretty simple at this point. Just following the same strategies. We've got this center here, this center here, this center here, and now we need to put the orange. This is going to be traded with this over here, so that's going to be a 2F in this case. Move it out of the way. Right next to orange is green, so make sure that a green is up here so that we move it back, bang, and then move it back. So all of these are in place. And now we'll get the extended cross over here. Move this like so. This is in green, but now I'm going to switch it with this layer here. I'm moving a little fast because this is kind of review. I don't have a green up here that I can use, so I'm going to have to abandon that for the moment. And how about here? Let's put a pink in from up here, right like this. 2R brings it here. Back, right next to the pink, is blue. So I'm going to want to move a blue in to replace it. 2R, there's my blue. Move it out. Now I've got my green up here too now. So everything is in except for the green. I got a green here now. Move it twice to move a green in. Bump it out of the way. Next to this is pink. Here's a pink I can replace it with. Turn it here. Move it back. So now I have my extended cross. Getting my corners, pink and blue. So now I come back to this side over here. Pink and blue. I've taken to isolating these levels and not moving these in. I worked so hard to put these in. Why would I mess it up? Anyway, this is going to move down here and flip with a 2R, U, 2R, UI, 2R. This is put in, causing a little bit of a jump, screw up over here, but that's okay. Hold it here, looking for the blue and orange. So blue and orange, blue and orange. Right over here. 2R, U, 2R, UI, 2R. Puts that back in and fixes everything up real nice over here. So I don't have to position the cube in any specific way. Green and pink. Green and pink right over here should slide in nicely. 2R, U, 2R, UI, 2R. Let's try this one here. Orange and green. Just happens to not be there, but right here. 2R, U, 2R, UI, 2R. And there it is. So now we've got this layer. Now we just have to do this next layer over here. We've already got our cross. Orange and green. Orange and green we have to find over here, which is right here. Real nice. 2R. Now it's this layer. U, 2R, UI, 2R. There it is here. Don't panic about this. We're all old hands at this now. Blue and orange. Blue and orange. This will slide in here. 2R, U, 2R, UI, 2R. And move it back. All right, we have green and pink. Now, throughout these tutorials, you might have noticed something. 2R, U, 2R. UI, 2R. I don't seem to come across a lot of parity in these cases. I could, but I don't seem to. Pink and blue. And that's not this one, it's this one. We've gone over how to deal with parities, and I've not seen any new ones, so if you encounter that and I've not gone over it and you really want me to, let me know and I will. Otherwise, it's really just kind of repeats of how to approach it from previous tutorials. To R, U, to R, UI, to R. And now we have this side all solved. Now, as you recall, in the previous one with the roadblocks, I had to combine these layers together, and we became pretty good at that. We don't have to this time, but why not? By combining it together, again, what I'm looking for is a sandwich, two colors that are the same, one color that's not. I'm setting myself up to go from corner switches to middle swaps. So here's a sandwich over here. So this is going to move to the side to do a corner swap in order to get sandwiches everywhere. How about the top? Well, I already have my sandwich here, so these are all coordinated with each other. So I can solve them all both at the same time. That algorithm moving both of these is 1, 2R, U, 2R, UI, 2R. Then move this to a UI, move this to a D, 2R, UI, 2R, U, and 2R. This is not a parity creating algorithm, so we don't worry about that. But we do have sandwiches everywhere. So let's see what we're going to encounter here. We can swap this to here and this to here, so I'll have my blue side in, and I can swap these two as well. If there's something about blues that I like, I can do it this way, so I'll have this blue side here. To do the corner swap, and this is parity producing, so beware, 2R, U, 2R, U, 2R, 2U, 2R, 2U, 2R, U, 2R, UI, 2R. I've got my blue here, and I've got my blue here. I've got to hold it here to get the parity out from here, so I'm just going to move this to the side. So in this layer, this green will come here, this pink will come here. But let me do it like this, because I just like all my solid sides to be next to each other. So in this case, this pink will come here, this orange will come here. Here's a solid side here. Let's move this across here. Same thing, this pink will come here, this orange will come here. And I'm pretty much got the same thing going on here now. 2R, U, 2R, U, 2R, 2U, 2R, 2U, 2R, U, 2R, UI, and 2R. And now we have one thing left. These guys will flip. And you've already probably predicted what's about to happen. What's about to happen is I'm about to get parity, right? Because these two need to come in. Now you're probably wondering, well, why don't you just put this in, get parity, then put this in and get the parity out? But the problem is that this parity will come in and out, but this will still be there. So you can't fight City Hall. So we'll go ahead and do a corner switch over here. 2R, U, 2R, U, 2R, 2U, 2R, 2U, 2R, U, 2R, UI, 2R. Okay, so these came in. Now notice what we've ended up with. Not only do we have parity here, but here because we don't have this in the right place. We encountered something like this with a 3x3x9. When you see this, just double turn it back. That just puts the parity over here, which is easier to deal with. So just to review, when you get something like this, when you have parity at the opposite here, we're going to do the same algorithm that we've always done. Hold it to the side here, and this is going to be the URF. Then it's 2U, 2R, 2F. Then you're going to do a 2U sliced where you did your original U and then sliced above it. So where do I slice it? Well, I slice it just below. In this case, you have it sandwiched. Now you can have a variety of conformations. You can have just these two. You can have just these two. You can have these two over here. It really doesn't matter. Or you can just have this, which is interesting. But what you want to do is your slice is going to be just in between the two. It's going to be just below where you have one of your parities. So if it were just here, you'd slice it down here. We're not going to do it that way right now. We're going to fix it from here. So hold it here. This is going to be our U. So it's going to be 2U, 2R, 2F. Then you slice it the same way, 2U. Then you're going to slice it just above that, 2U. And then 2F, 2R, 2U. Okay, what that did is it took these parity out, and now I got to deal with these. And this is done exactly the same way, slicing it from here now. So holding it here, slicing it just below this parity. I don't know if that's easy to see with this color scheme, but this is pink and this is orange, pink over here. So now we slice it here, 2U, 2R, 2F, then 2U, then slice it just above it, 2U, then 2F, 2R, 2U, and you have yourself a solved 3 by 3 by 7. So that wasn't so bad, was it? Pretty fun, pretty good. Let me know if there's anything missing with this, like other parity situations, but I think you got the picture. Let's see what's up next.